Howdy, y'all. Bane here. Just got out of the shower. Ooh, ooh, the freshness. This is gonna be a Macros Keybinds guide because I know some of you wanted this. I personally think keybinds are all super personal preference. So, you know, if you don't like the keybind, don't use it. If it's uncomfortable, don't use it. This is like my keybinds are just, they work with me because I've used them for years. So yeah, so I guess we'll start with macros first. So, macros. I have this macro, which actually, honestly, this is the best macro I have, honestly. The rest of them are pretty, like, standard. This macro basically will root, or it can clone. It can do whatever ability. You could add whatever ability in where it says entangling roots here and entangling roots over here. You could add whatever ability you want. Cyclone, root, hibernate, for druids, I guess, specifically. What this macro does is if let's say you're fighting jungle or something like that, if you hit this macro, it'll try to root or hibernate or cyclone the hunter pet, or you know, a warlock. It'll root the warlock's pet, or DK, or root the DK pet. If there's two pets in the arena, honestly, it might fuck up, but that's like, it's like pretty rare to get into something like that, right? So this macro is really good. Yeah, I definitely recommend this macro if you have an extra keybind slot or something. Super good. You can do it for Cyclone, like I said. Hibernate, I have one for Hibernate down here. Somewhere. One of these. Yeah, this one right here. Just Hibernate's pet. Really useful if you're actually trying to CC the pet or something like that. Which actually can be really useful, for example, when fighting a BM hunter or something. Next here we have... okay, well, this is just regular rake. I don't actually use that. I might have to go through my macros a bit here to make sure what I have is what I have. So this macro right here will actually... Let me actually hearth here for a second. I'll show you what it does. That macro basically for this tier 2 tree, whatever talent you switch here, it'll change the icon basically. So it's like a quality of life macro. It's not really important, but I'll show you how it works in a second. Okay, so this macro it increases Tiger Dash, Renewal, and Wild Charge. So this is this tree. The 2 means the second tier, and the 1 is like Tiger Dash is 1, Renewal 2nd, and 3rd is Wild Charge. So you see how that's kind of lined up? So basically, if you look on my bars down here, if I go Renewal, it'll change this to Renewal. If I go Tiger Dash, it'll change this to Tiger Dash. Pretty cool. Pretty good macros if you want to fuck with that. This right here is the same thing, but for Mighty Bash. And honestly, I never switch out Mighty Bash, but it'll do the same thing. You see down here? It'll swap it. So just quality of life macros. Next, we have Clone. Clone 1, 2, 3. Gotta love your Clone 1, 2, 3s. You know what I mean? I use a lot of 1, 2, 3 macros and focus macros. I would recommend 1, 2, 3 macros if you're getting into arena and you kind of want to like. It's just one button less than using focus macros a lot of the time. It's just nice, but it requires more keybinds. But it's literal less key presses. So I think overall it's more efficient to have 1, 2, 3s. But having 1, 2, 3s and focus are good. I know, like for example, like Snuts I think only uses focus, and that's like really old school. That's just way too much, like swapping around focus all the time. Just, I don't fuck with that. Next here, I guess I can go over my scripts too. So let me just go to my script page. So I have a cast one. Okay, so this one right here, this one will just move and increase the size of your cast bar. You can do this with the add-on Move Anything. Definitely recommend the add-on Move Anything. You don't need to do these bullshit scripts. I have these scripts because I competed, and you couldn't use add-ons on land, but you could use scripts. So all this can be done by Move Anything. All these scripts can be done by Move Anything. Let's see what's next here. Focus Bash. Oh, okay. This is actually a pretty cool macro. So Wild Charge used to be on global, like 2 weeks ago or something like that, before 8.1. They took it off global, so you can have this macro where I have it on focus. It'll wild charge my focus target, but if the focus target is right next to me, it won't actually wild charge because it can't, but it'll Mighty Bash them. So either way, it basically is like a fail-safe. It'll focus wild charge, so it'll get you to the person, and then it'll bash. It's a really nice macro. If they're too close, it'll just bash. Really nice macro. I actually highly recommend that macro. This is a hunter ability I just added in here because I'm low on macro space. But this basically same thing. It uses wild charge. If it's too far, it'll use wild charge, and it spams skull bash, which is your kick. So basically, you can basically kick someone from like 30 yards away. if you spam that macro. Or if you don't need a wild charge, it'll just straight up focus. It'll just straight up focus kick. Focus hibernate, useful, just casual. I have a lot of these casual macros that like focus hibernate 1, 2, 3s. That's most of my macros, honestly. Just gonna go through here. Okay, I have a focus rake macro, what actually has prowl in it. I rarely use this. This is actually on my 2. But on my 2, I used to have the ability mangle as a feral. They took that away from us, and I didn't really know what to fill it in with. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll use focus rake. I've pressed it probably 5 times in the last 9 years. Well, in the last like 3 years. I don't really use it. You don't really need focus rake. It's just kind of a filler macro for me. This prowl thing, I kind of fucked with it for a bit, but I like really rarely use it. These right here are to move your frames. You don't need this shit. Just get Gladius, get S Arena, one of those. You don't need that. Let's see. This is just focus bash, focus skull bash, excuse me. So just skull bash is your focus. This gold side screen, this is actually outdated macro, but basically when you're in arena, it'll show like how many players are left, like 3 players left, 3 players left, blah, blah, blah. This will just move it. You can do that with move anything. These are my hibernate macros. So we have hibernate 1, hibernate 2, and hibernate 3. So this is just hibernate arena 1, hibernate arena 2, hibernate arena 3 for like rest of druids, feral druids, boomkins, omega lol. Yeah. And then this is the hibernate macro, which hibernates the pet. I'll post one of these macros actually in the description, so you guys can, you know, put the whatever ability you want. You know, you just remove the hibernate. Okay, these macros. Oh, I didn't explain this. Okay, so this is a kick macro, but it's a show tooltip dash. What hashtag show tooltip does, it'll literally show whatever, and these are tooltips, just so you know, all these right here are tooltips. It'll show whatever tooltip you want. So you can have a macro where it does one ability, but it shows up as another ability. So as you see it from a lot of like pro players and me and stuff like that, there's doubles of your abilities, but they're not actually doubles of your abilities for the most part. They're actually usually show tooltip macros. It's just to see it easier, literally, because you don't need to see 20 fucking kicks on you know, I would have 5 kicks on my bar here. I don't need to see 5 kicks. So instead of seeing 5 kicks, I see dash instead of kick here. So that's on my A right now. That's bound to my A, and it looks like dash, but it's actually focus arena 1 kick. This arena 2 kick shows a stampeding roar. This arena 3 kick shows us survival instincts. Make sense? Good. So this is just MAME 1, MAME arena 1, MAME arena 2, but looks like hibernate. MAME arena 2, and this is MAME arena 3. Pretty simple. This is macro hide. It just hides like the macro name. So if I actually reload my UI right now, you'll see. Hold on. Let's reload my UI. So as you see here, it says kick 2, kick 1, wall, blah, blah, blah. If I use my macro thing, it just erases those. I didn't do it on this top bar because, I mean, honestly, I'm lazy. So it's fine. It doesn't really bother me. But yeah, that's what that macro one does. Let's go back to our place. I think we are right here. Moonfire 1, 2, 3. Just because I like to use 1, 2, 3s a lot. I actually don't have this bound anymore. I replaced it for Hibernate 1, 2, 3. Not super necessary. Good for like keeping rogues in combat sometimes, or you know, not really necessary. Like I said, I don't actually use it right now. Party script. So this party script, if you just Google party frame script for WoW, for World of Warcraft, put that in Google, this script will come up. Basically what this script does is every arena I do, I'm usually on the bottom frame, or like 100% of the time I'm on the bottom frame of my raid frames. It just puts you on the bottom frame every time. So no confusion, nice and easy, you're always going to be the bottom frame. Okay, same thing, show tooltip macro. This shows Berserk, but it actually does Entangling Roots Arena 1. This shows Feral Frenzy, but it actually does Entangling Roots Arena 2. This shows Trinket, actually does Entangling Roots Arena 3. Red, this takes away the red script errors where it's like, you're too far away from the target or whatever. It shows up in the middle of the screen. This just takes it away. Same thing, show tooltip macro. You see it on the sides here. These are usually where my heals are. I don't need to see the cooldown of regrowth because it doesn't have a cooldown. So I have a party 1, which this will target my party 1. So let's say I'm playing with X, Z, and me. If X is on the top party frame, that's party 1. Z's on the middle party frame, that's party 2. This will heal party 1 with regrowth. This will heal party 2 with regrowth. Same thing, show tooltip. Same thing, this is rejuve. This will rejuve party 1. This will remove party 2. This right here will remove curse party 1. This right here will remove curse party 2. So most of my macros are party 1, party 2, and then arena 1, 2, 3, and then focus. Pretty simple. Same thing here. You can erase this basically, and it's just party 1, party 2 for Swiftmend. Don't know what the fuck this one is. Don't actually use that. It's a test, I guess. Oh wait, do I? Oh yeah. Okay, so this is like the Battle Masters or whatever. Yeah, not really necessary, but it's in there. Now specifics. That's Boomkin. That's Boomkin. That's Boomkin. Enraged Maul. You don't actually need this. You could just spec Tooth and Claw or whatever, Heart of the Wild right now, and you could put Enraged Maul on your bars and it'll stay there. I just made it because I had an extra space. Just did it to do it. Focus Cyclone. This is a pretty good macro. This is just cancel. Do I have forms in here? No, this is basically, yes I do, okay. So this is cancel my form, so if someone's trying to hibernate me, I'll quickly cancel my form by hitting this. You don't need all of this in here, just pretty much cancel. I think there's a shorter way to do it, but just cancel or a bear form, cancel or a cat form, cancel or a travel form. It'll basically just take you out of the form. It's good. You actually kind of want it versus you know, stuff that's going to try to hibernate you. So this right here is actually my Cyclones. These are the ones I actually bind, but we've already gone over Cyclone 1, 2, 3. This is just Cyclone 1, 2, 3. Used to be Rake 1, 2, 3 until 8.1, and I never actually used Rake 1, 2, 3, and I brought it back to Cyclone, baby. This right here, Party 1 Thorns, Party 2 Thorns, standard stuff, regular stuff. This right here is actually just to use my trinket when I Tiger's Fury. Honestly, it's not the best macro, but I don't actually have a bind for trinket specifically. I did 5-6 years ago when it actually was a thing, but yeah, I haven't made any bind for it. It's just kind of nice and convenient. Like, I wouldn't say it's really good, but it's not like awful. So pretty sure these are nothing. Yeah, these I don't use. And this is wild charge to your partner basically. So if you're ever in trouble and you want a wild charge to your partner on the pillar, this is a healer. If you ever want a wild charge to the partner on the pillar, you can use that. It'll take you out of. Well, you have to exit form and then use it. So, or you can make you can probably make a macro where it's cancel form, and then it'll do it by itself. So those are my macros. Yeah, those are all my macros actually. So most of them are just 1, 2, 3s. There's a couple fancy ones: the Entangling Roots Pet, you know, and whatever else you find to be fancy. I guess I'll go over my binds now. Like I said, binds are like really personal preference, I feel like. But let's go over them. So, I guess we'll start at just 1, 2, 3. So first of all, the reason I have 5 cat forms here is just, it's a failsafe. I don't want to have random abilities outside of cat form. It's a little awkward for me. So I just like to make sure if I'm in human form, if I'm going to press my damage ability, it's going to put me in my form. Okay, so I don't want like Moonfire there or something. I just want cat form there because if I'm pressing 3, I'm expecting to rake. Right? You know what I mean? So kind of makes sense to me. Okay, and now I can just go cat form. So 1 is my shred, just casual damage, bang, 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 number 1. Number 2 is my rake. Like I said before, it used to be mangle. I didn't really know what to put here. This is focus rake, not rake, sorry. I really almost never use this button, to be honest. 3 is just regular rake, just rake. 4, rip. 5, ferocious bite. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for me on all my characters are just straight up my damage, like pretty much just my damage. 6 is stealth, because 6 is a little awkward to keybind. You don't hit stealth that often. I found it like a nice, decent, like middle ground for a keybind, where I'm not going to hit it super often, but I hit it. Shift 3 is Swiftmend, and you'll kind of see the pattern. Okay, so Swiftmend is Shift 3, but Shift 1 is Regrowth, and Shift 2 is Rejuve, and Shift 3 is Swiftmend, and Shift 4 is actually Root Pet, but Shift 5 is Wild Growth. So all my heals are basically Shift 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's basically how my brain works with that. All my heals are on the Shift 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Control 4. Okay, yeah, Control 4 is Disenchant, but it's actually Savage Roar. I very rarely use Savage Roar. It's Disenchant on my regular bar, but I very rarely use Savage Roar. But it's always been Savage Roar ever since Mop. I really almost never use it, but I still keep it there out of habit. I love that keybind. I hold my keyboard strangely. Here, I'll show you guys real quick how I hold my keyboard. I'm not sure if I'll be able to show you guys, but so this is my keyboard, right? So I actually hold, see where control is? This is a little awkward, sorry. So I hold control with like with like this part. Like this part of my finger, that rests on control. So a lot of people like to use shift, some people like to use alt, and some people like to use control. I like to use control because of how I hold my keyboard. It makes it very comfortable. So I know some people might find it really awkward, but that's how I hold my keyboard is I rest my shit on there and I just play like this. This is really bad angle here. I'll do it backwards, maybe it'll make sense a little bit. And just hold that like that. I don't know. Maybe you could see. Maybe you kind of understand. But yeah, so I use a lot of control binds because they're very comfortable for me. All right, Shift F is actually not thorns. H is thorns, and then thorns 1 is V actually. Thorns 1 is V, so thorns party 1 is V, and thorns party 2 is control V. Shift F, I just put it here. This is my Hellstone bind, but I never play with Warlocks. I put it here to actually just see the cooldown. Shift 4, like I said before, this is the root pet macro, so this will root the pet. Okay, so Control F1, Control F2, and Control F3. Control F1 is just regular decurse, so I'll decurse myself basically. Control 2 is my party 1 decurse, and Control 3 is my party 2 decurse. Alright, now we go up to these bars. Control T is my sprint. I just like it there. Like I said, keybinds are super personal preference, so it's like, might feel really awkward to you, you know what I mean? Shift T is my Savage Roar. A, S, and D here are kick 1, 2, 3. So this D right here that looks like a survival instincts, that's actually kick 3. So let me explain to you this real quick. So I set up my keyboard in a way where I eliminated every keybind from A, S, and D, and then made every modifier of A, S, and D a 1, 2, 3 macro. So I kind of I did this a long time ago in MOP. I redid all my keybinds. I was like, if I'm going to be good at Arena, how am I going to do it? I'm going to have 1, 2, 3 macros. So I'm going to need to make a section where I can just have a ton of 1, 2, 3 macros. So what I did, I moved with Q and E, okay, and W. Q, E, and W, and I hold my right click to move around. So I decided to make A, S, and D and all the modifiers, Shift A, S, and D, Control A, S, and D, Alt A, S, D, all into 1, 2, 3 macros. I fucking love it, dude. Like, if you can redo your keybinds, I swear, dude, that shit feels so fucking good. It feels so fucking good. So that's what I do. So all of my A, S, and Ds, as I'll go through this, are all 1, 2, 3 macros. So A, S, and D, just straight up, no modifiers, are kick 1, 2, 3. They honestly used to be treants 1, 2, 3 back in MOP, but we lost treants. Anyway, doesn't matter. So it's kick 1, 2, 3. Control tilde is actually my wall. Don't ask me why. It's just always my wall. Keybinds are really personal preference. Control 3 is actually my maim, my just regular maim. Alt 1, Alt 2, and Alt 3 are maim 1, 2, 3. So those are maim 1, 2, 3. Alt 1, Alt 2, Alt 3. The Alt 2 and 3 are on this other side, where these hibernates show up on the right side. But yeah, Alt 1, 2, 3 are maim 1, 2, 3. F is my Tiger's Fury. Just, I feel like F is like a good offensive button, in my head at least. Control 1 is my War Stomp. G is my Trinket. Always been my Trinket ever since like BC or something like that. So, yeah. Shift D is actually root 3. So that's another A, S, and D bind. Shift A is actually root 1. Shift S is actually root 2. And then Shift 3 is actually root 3. Now we'll go up here. R is my kick, just regular kick. Control R is my focus kick. Control X is my Feral Frenzy, which was basically Artifact back in Legion. So Control X is my Feral Frenzy, and the reason why it's Control X is because X is my Incarn, which I'll go over in a second. X is my Incarn, and when Legion came out, you needed like a second burst thing, so I put it on Control X because it kind of made sense to me, because Incarn's a big cooldown, that's also a pretty big damage cooldown. So that's on Control X. Shift S, like I said, is root 2. T is Wild Charge. And you know, on my other characters, like if I played a mage, it'd be blink. It's my movement, basically. It's my charge for my warrior. It's my charge. So it's basically my gap closers. Shift R is actually the macro we went through, which is the wild charge and kick. So you could kick someone from like 30 yards away if you spammed it. And it kind of makes sense to me because Control R is my focus kick. So Shift R is my like really long kick, basically. You know, so stuff like that. B is my bash. B for bash, baby. B for bash. And Control B is my focus bash. It's also the wild charge focus bash. So if I need to bash from a long ways away, it'll wild charge for me. Really nice. X is my cooldown. Berserk, Incarn, just big boy damage. Always. Shift A is the root 1. C is Cyclone. Always been Cyclone. So happy when I got that back. They used to be Thorns 1, but I changed Thorns to V. I'll explain that after. Anyway, so, and then Control C is Focus Cyclone. There we go. This is an awkward bind. A lot of you guys are going to freak the fuck out, okay? Control 5 is my bear form. I have pretty decent-sized hands. Like, and like I said, how I hold the keyboard, it makes control really easy for me. Control 5 is very easy for me to press, okay? So, I'm not a fucking freak, okay? I just hold my keyboards probably differently than most of you. But the people who hold the keyboard like me, what's up? That's what I like to see. So, yeah, that's bear form. Shift 2, like I said before, is one of my heals. It's Rejuvenation. Shift 1 is Regrowth. Shift 3 is Swiftmend. Alt 4, kind of like Shift 4, this is the Hibernate Pet macro. So, like my Root Pet macro is Shift 4, my Hibernate macro is Alt 4. V is actually Thorns 1. This used to be Hibernate, but since I only play Arena, I actually don't have Focus Hibernate bound or regular Hibernate bound because when I got Clone back, I had to basically remove something. So I don't actually need Target Hibernate in Arena, and I don't really need Focus Hibernate in Arena if I have Hibernate 1, 2, 3, which I do. If I have Hibernate 1, 2, 3, or if I have Hibernate Pet 2. So I didn't need to have Hibernate on my bars, so I replaced that with Thorns 1, 2. Shift 1, Regrowth. Control F is Thrash. It's an okay keybind. I fucking really rarely use Thrash, so... H is my Thorns, just for myself. Y is Moonfire. Y is, for me, it's just always that, like, range kind of attack. Like, it's throw on my warrior, stuff like that. Z is Root, just because it is. There's no real reasoning to it. Just made it a long time ago, got used to it. Control 2 is actually Brutal Slash, and I love this bind for me. So comfortable to Brutal Slash with. I never thought I'd use Swipe in Arena, but, apparently we have to use Brutal Slash now, so, I'm happy I have a good keybind for Swipe, which turns into Brutal Slash. Control 1, Decurse, like I said before. Oh, you guys want to know the mount bind. You know it's that F5 shit. You know about that F5 mount bind. Scroll up is Cat form. Scroll down is Deer form. Shift 5, like I said before, is Wild Growth. So all my Shift 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 basically heals except Shift 4, which is the root. These are my main binds. These Hibernates over here. These are my main 2 and 3, which is Alt 2 and 3. These are my Swiftmend binds, which is, I think this is mouse button 4. Yes, that's mouse button 4. So it's mouse button 4 and control mouse button 4 are Swiftmend 1 and Swiftmend 2. So party 1, party 2. So mouse button 4 and then control mouse button 4. A lot of my heals are actually on my, for my partners or on my mouse because it makes sense. So I only use this 2-button mouse. It's a SteelSeries Rival. It's fucking awesome. I love it. Anyway, 2 buttons on here. I don't use a Naga or anything like that. So pretty much I made my mouse buttons for just healing. So my Rejuve 1 and 2 is actually Alt mouse button 4 and then Alt mouse button 5. Those are probably my worst mouse keybinds, but it's Rejuve, so you don't really need to use it that often. But I'm very used to it at this point. So yeah, I pretty much mapped out my mouse buttons around my heals. And then to heal my partners, so this is the last one here, Brutal Slash is actually Regrowth 1 and 2. That is mouse button 5 and then control mouse button 5. So, pretty clean. Shit that's actually, I don't have enough macros, or I don't have enough binds or bar space to actually to bind all my shit. I have Control A, S, and D bound to Cyclone 1, 2, 3, which you can't see on my bars, but it's bound like through the files. So Cyclone 1, 2, 3 is Control A, S, and D. Hibernate 1, 2, 3 is Alt A, S, and D. I think that's it though. I think everything else I pretty much covered. I was gonna go over something, and I'm kind of blanking out. I was gonna go over one ability or something, but I don't remember. Very unfortunate. I don't think it was really important though. But yeah, so those are basically my binds. Well, those are my binds. If you have any more questions about it or questions on macros, like I said, I'm going to post the macro, the Hibernate macro, and the Root macro for the pets. I'm going to post those in the description. And And yeah, those are my keybinds. I honestly have a lot of keybinds. I think ferals kind of require a lot of keybinds. I think feral honestly right now is awesome. Like, it's like almost back to like mop, like with the amount of buttons you have. Well, not really back to mop, but close. Yeah, I think honestly us ferals have probably the most abilities in the game, which is really cool. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Follow my stream, twitch.tv/bean. My Twitter, BeanBoySwag, the boy. And I'm gonna come out with a new video. I actually got a warrior video coming out, the pre-woo coming out. It should be like tomorrow or the next day from this video. And yeah, thanks for watching. And yeah, follow my YouTube too, or subscribe to it or whatever. Bye.